Yay, I'm back. Well, the last half of March was pretty crappy, but now I've been seeing better days. But not to delay it any longer, here's something that I haven't talked about in a while, and that is religion. Now, looking back, I realized that when I was talking about religion in my later videos, I tend to talk about the things that atheists mostly get wrong. But not since my first Rationality Rules video have I actually gone out refuting their arguments. Yes, for my believer fans, I have heard your voice, and now we will analyze this guy who has certain points which claim to disprove God's existence. Now, I'm an open-minded person, and whenever they have logical reasons, there's the old saying, any rational mind can be changed by a rational argument in 5 seconds. So, let's go.
10 logical reasons that deny God's existence. So you believe that God exists? This question is making the rounds these days. But don't be misled. This definitely is not a new generation question. It's been debated through years, and the discussion can go on for centuries. In case you deny the existence of the Almighty, and somehow lack evidence to support your side, we have you covered. So we unveil 10 logical reasons that will shake some believers.
God, I love these intros.
Number 10. Poorly designed universe. Don't the theists say that God is perfect and the creator of the universe? Well then, why did he design the universe and his babies in such poor fashion? We weren't in a hurry to land on Earth. We could have stayed in his creation lab for some more time, if only to become refined beings. If God exists, and it's him who has created us with diseases and malfunctions, do we have a reason to worship him?
Now he's assuming that the Christian God is an omni-God, and therefore he must be perfect. As you may note, I have talked about this argument before, so let me play the clip. The Abrahamic God may not be an omni-God, but more like a superhero figure. He could be way more good than humans, way more powerful than humans, way more smart than humans, but still not perfect. God not being perfect is not absolute proof that God doesn't exist. It's just setting the question about imperfection.
Number 9. God of gaps. Hey believers over there, we agree with you, and here's how. Now that we have your attention, could you explain the idea of God of gaps? That is your argument of his existence? You somehow prove God's existence by pointing out phenomenon that science can't explain, and hence they're facilitated by God. In ancient times, Greeks believed Poseidon to be behind earthquakes, but it's now been proved as scientific activity. Can our lack of knowledge about the universe substitute for the existence of another force? That's not very convincing.
He's missed the point here. There are things that we cannot measure or place in any scientific category. That is the God of the gaps argument. There are simply things that are outside the realm of science.
Sorry. Number 8. Inconsistency of religions. Just a logical question here. If a metaphysical form exists, then why do we perceive the same thing so differently? Is there any unified view of God, his form, his number, his work, or his expectations from us? If God existed, he would have been bigger, more powerful, and with effect on the universe. The reason we all have different views on him is that he does not exist. We are not perceiving a reality. Rather, we are building on something we made up.
And not only is this not proof for there being no higher power, as you can believe in God and not practice any religion, this claim is also incorrect. All religions, and even spiritualities, basically share the same ideas that they all organize reality in a way that tells you what is nature, what is human nature, and how the two are related. All religions also explain a moral platform, a creator which is the standard for that platform, an afterlife, how to interpret the world, give it meaning, have values, arrange them in a system, and last but not least, all religions have a sense of community. As the philosopher Huston Smith said, it's possible to climb life's mountain from any side, but when the top is reached, the trails converge. That is the nexus of all faith.
Number 7. Creation of world. We all have our own definitions of God, but one widely accepted trait of the Almighty is that it is He who created the entire universe some 6,000 years ago. That being said, it should be evident that nothing on the planet is older than this time frame. But that is not the case. Fossils have been found that date back to billions of years. And if God created the world only 6,000 years ago, where did those things pop up from? Can't we deduce that God does not exist, or at least that the world was not created by him?
Okay, I have to ask, where did that idea that the universe is 6,000 years old come from? No normal person believes that. It's especially evident as the person who discovered the universe's age with the Big Bang Theory was a Catholic priest. So, argument 7 has no basis.
Number 6. Existence of evil. When believers say that there's a God, a power which is noble and good, then do they forget the existence of evil in the world? Be logical. When God loves us so dearly, then why does he allow evil to exist? If there is God, who allows wars and riots to take place and destroy his creation when by all means he can stop it? Then he is at least not worth worshipping.
Given the previous arguments, I'm not surprised to see this here. Everything in existence has a definition of some sort. You cannot know what something good is if you do not know what something bad is. You need something to distinguish good as good. Otherwise, that goodness has no real meaning. Everything would be just neutral then. It would have no meaning behind it whatsoever. Some people may not like it, but you have to feel the effects of both sides, or you can feel the effects of neither. Now, look, I've actually heard some atheists say that they would rather feel nothing, that they would find that more peaceful than having emotions. Well, there's a simple solution to that. Get a lobotomy. Stick a needle through your eye socket, sever the connection to your prefrontal cortex, and there you go. You will feel nothing. I mean, you might have some side effects, but hey, you will have no emotion, so you won't fear the fear about it. And here's also something that atheists kind of leave out when they want to talk about the problem of evil in the world. Look, if you yourself don't want to be a good person, why should God force you to be a good person? I mean, is that the idea of a benevolent God?
Number 5. Morality needs no religion. Most people believe that in the absence of God and religion, there would be utter chaos, leading to immoral acts. But is that really true? Looking at the behavior of a believer and an atheist, you'd see that there is little to no difference in their morality. On the other hand, there are more than a few incidents that prove that religious people commit immoral acts in the name of God. So isn't it wrong to relate God with morality? The question of the deity's existence persists yet again.
Religion has definitely influenced morality and has shaped the way we perceive it today. In the Islamic world, it's considered immoral to eat pork. In India, it's considered immoral to eat cows. Everyone believes that infanticide is wrong. Well, that is one example of what Christianity has brought to the West. Before that, it was very much a normal thing. Even if you're an atheist, today you are still following many Christian values if you live in the West.
Number 4. Religion runs in family. If we ask you about your religion, there's a 99% chance that you follow the religion of your family, because that's what you have been taught. But what is your understanding of how to worship God? All you know is derived from your ancestors, and it has been in the generations. You did not analyze the facts to decide which religion goes with your definition of God. The mere scenario of tightly bound family religion questions the truth in it because you can analyze facts but not fables. It can also be seen as a belief sustained by social pressure or even threats. The whole idea of religion seems scary now. Yikes.
Okay, this argument accomplished nothing in regards to the topic. As a matter of fact, if you go to North Korea or China, I can easily say that the concept of atheism sounds scary. Yikes to that.
Number 3. No evidence of existence. Largely saying there's not much evidence to prove the existence of God. Well, if God is there, then why is there no proof of him being there? That kind of puzzles us. Talking of the evidences that somehow prove that such a power exists can also not be trusted. When put under examination, these evidences fail to support the argument. Also, the idea of a large number of atheists circling the world is beyond us. Since God exists, why didn't he prove himself to us?
Because that's not the role of God. The purpose of religion is to have faith, to believe that there is something higher out there. Besides, even if God revealed himself to you, you probably still wouldn't believe in God. Because an example is even shown in the New Testament. Basically, if you look at the Gospels that talk about Jesus' resurrection, you will note that 2 sentries were posted in front of Jesus' tomb. And when they witnessed Jesus resurrect from the dead, they actually just went to town and bribed the officials to spread the word that Jesus' body was stolen. That's basically what they did. Faith comes from within. It's not just about seeing. Some of the most real things in the world are the things you can't see. And not only that, there's even a Bible verse explaining that even though one has eyes and ears to see and hear, they are still blind and deaf to the Gospels.
Number 2. Common consent. One of the major reasons for believing in the existence of the supreme power is that most people believe it. Is it even logical to say that since a phenomenon is accredited by the majority, it must be true? We doubt that.
Okay, I have to stop him here as virtually nobody believes in a higher power because everyone else does too. If you were to ask most believers why they believed in God, they would each have a different answer. This argument is just false.
Number 1. No growth in religion. When we look at the world around us, we realize that a decade ago, there had been so many things that we had no knowledge about, but are now a part of our life. That's how we have evolved, and our knowledge about science. But can we apply the same thing to God? We guess not, because we're still stuck with beliefs and facts that have been in circulation for centuries. Our knowledge about the God and religion has not improved, which is rather thought-provoking. If God exists, then why is it that we are still vague about what he's like? Do you have any counterclaims? What do you believe in, science or God?
Well, I will gladly give some counter-arguments. I don't understand this retarded opinion that if you're religious, you have to reject science. Science says how the universe works. Religion just says how it started and what our relationship with it should be. Those are two different things. Besides, science in its roots started with religion. As C.S. Lewis said, the first scientists were basically religious people. They searched for laws in nature because they believed in a lawgiver. So one thing I have to say about this video is that like half the video is just him saying how religion is detrimental or inconsistent. And the other half are at most poking holes. Nowhere does it like actively disprove that a higher power exists. It's at least just giving arguments to keep the debate about the existence of God continue to grow. But no, I think I can obviously see the reason behind adding this whole logical proof about disproving God. And this is also something that they really need to work on. Simply being an atheist does not make you an expert in critical thinking. That is a skill you have to build on. And not only that, you have to actually like give rational scientific proof that proves the other side wrong. And even so, when they don't do that, they still use these whole logical titles because that's how they sound smart. But look, when you actually compare the title to the arguments they give, it actually makes them look like a dumbass.